Pannelli integrativi.
Supplementary panels are placed to complete the prescription or indication. Danger signs provide additional information to the signal to which they are combined, specifying better the validity of the sign with respect to time or with respect to the categories of vehicles to which the signal is addressed. We will also see that in some cases the supplementary panels are decisive for the very meaning of the signal under which they are placed at a distance.
Distanza.
The distance between the sign and the starting point of the hazard. It can be placed in addition to mandatory or forbidden indication signs and specifies the distance to reach the point indicated by the sign.
Estesa.
The extended prescription. This supplementary panel can be found to supplement mandatory prohibition signs to indicate the length of the road section in which the prescription applies. It can also be placed under a danger sign, always indicating the length of the dangerous stretch of road. In this case, it makes us understand how many meters the road is in bad conditions. Since it is integrated with the deformed road sign, while the supplementary extended panel placed under the double dangerous curve sign, the first on the right, indicates how many meters of road there are dangerous curves. So let's be very careful in the quizzes not to confuse these two signals. An easy way to tell them apart is to remember that the extended panel contains two arrows.
Fascia oraria di validità in ogni giorno.
Unlike the time slot distance panel of validity in each day, this supplementary panel indicates the time slot within which the signal is valid. Let's now see some examples of pairing with signals. This signal is integrated by the time slot panel. It means that the transit is forbidden from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. It is allowed to transit at other times.
Fascia oraria di validità nei giorni festivi.
This signal is supplemented by the time slot. Indicates the times when the use of the horn is prohibited. Time slot of validity on holidays. This supplementary panel limits the validity of the signal under which it is placed to holidays and the indicated time slot. It can be found under a prescription sign to specify that the prescription is valid only on holidays and in the indicated time slot. It does not concern the hours of religious services or the opening of churches or cemeteries. Let's now look at a practical example. The additional time slot panel on holidays, placed under the no parking sign, makes us understand that parking is prohibited on holidays and in the indicated time slot.
Fascia oraria di validità nei giorni lavorativi.
Validity time slot on working days. This supplementary panel, placed under a sign, limits its validity to working days and to the time slots indicated. It can be found under an obligation or prohibition sign and indicates the time slot of the working days during which the prescription applies. Let's now look at some examples. This integrated signal prohibits the transit of trucks with a total mass exceeding 3.5 tons on working days and in the indicated time slot. This integrated no parking sign prohibits parking in the indicated time slot on working days only.
Limitazione.
Limitation. This supplementary panel indicates that the signal to which it is associated is only valid for the vehicles represented. It can be combined with indication, obligation, or prohibition signs and limits the validity of the sign to articulated lorries. Let's now look at some examples. This integrated no parking sign prohibits parking for articulated vehicles and allows all other vehicles to park. This integrated no transit sign prohibits transit only for articulated vehicles. Allows all other vehicles to pass.
Eccezione.
Exception. This supplementary panel represents an exception to the mandatory prohibition sign to which it can be combined. Indicates that the signal we see above is valid for all vehicles, except for city buses. As we can see in this example, the supplementary exception panel is placed under the prohibited direction sign and allows only buses to pass through. Forbid access to all other vehicles.
Inizio.
This supplementary panel vertically or horizontally, placed under a prohibition sign of obligation or danger. It makes us understand where the prescription or the dangerous stretch of road begins. Let's now look at some examples. The supplementary vertical start panel, placed under the pedestrian path sign, indicates the point from where the pedestrian path begins. The supplementary panel at the start of the place, under the no parking sign, makes us understand that the prohibition begins here.
Continuazione.
This supplementary panel vertically or horizontally be placed under a mandatory prohibition warning sign, it indicates its continuation. So it makes us understand that the danger or prescription, already valid before the signal, continues even after. In this example, we see the supplementary continuation panel placed under the no overtaking sign. It makes us understand that the prohibition on overtaking continues.
Fine.
End. This supplementary panel type A or B, combined with a prescription danger sign, indicates the end of validity.
Indicatore di corsia.
The supplementary panel in the figure placed at the top of the carriageway, together with a sign indicating a location, indicates the lane to take to reach that location. It also indicates that the sign above is valid only for the lane indicated by the arrow.
Segnali orizzontali in rifacimento.
Horizontal signs undergoing renovation. This supplementary panel, placed under the other dangers sign, indicates a stretch of road on which there is no temporary road markings or work is underway.
Incidente.
The accident. This supplementary panel indicates that the carriageway is occupied by accident vehicles and that therefore speed must be reduced. It can be found on any type of road where an accident has occurred.
Attraversamento di binari.
Crossing of tracks. This supplementary panel, coupled with the signal of other dangers. Advance notice in the presence of shunting or connecting tracks near freight yards, invites you to decrease the speed for crossing the snowplow shunting tracks in action.
Sgombra neve in azione.
This supplementary panel, combined with the signal of other dangers, invites to decrease the speed due to the presence of snowplow machines in operation, maintaining a distance of at least 20 meters from the snowplow machines at work.
Mezzi di lavoro in azione.
Means of work in action. This supplementary panel indicates the presence of road construction sites with excavators and mechanical shovels in action. It invites you to use particular caution due to the possible presence of moving machinery on the roadway.
Zona soggetta ad allagamento.
An area subject to flooding. This supplementary panel indicates the danger of flooding the carriageway in the event of rain or strong storms.
Coda.
Tail. This supplementary panel indicates the possibility of finding intense traffic with the formation of columns of vehicles. It can be found at the entrance to the motorways and invites you to use caution so as not to collide with stopped vehicles due to clogged traffic. On the motorway, he may advise you to exit to avoid probable delays or queues.
Forte pioggia.
Heavy rain. This supplementary panel indicates a dangerous stretch of road in case of rain. It can be combined with the slippery road sign and invites, in case of rain, to decrease the speed and to increase the safety distance. Due to the possible presence of mud on the road.
Neve o ghiaccio.
Snow or ice? This supplementary panel indicates, in the event of low temperatures or on snow-covered roads, the presence of sections that are dangerous due to ice, inviting you to use particular caution. It can be combined with the slippery road sign.
Autocarri in rallentamento.
Trucks or heavy vehicles driving at low speed. It indicates to circulate at a prudent speed to avoid accidents with trucks that are in front of us in slow motion, keeping a greater safety distance.
Rimozione coatta.
Forced removal. This supplementary panel indicates a no parking zone with removal of the vehicle which can be taken away from the tow truck or locked with the jaws.
Tornante o tornanti.
Hairpin or hairpin bends. The supplementary panel of type A or B can indicate the proximity of one or more particularly dangerous curves. Hairpin bends can be found under the curve or double curve sign and can be followed by the progressive number of hairpin bends.
Numero progressivo tornante.
Sequential number. Hairpin. This panel, in a series of curves with reduced radius, indicates the progressive number, indicating the first of a series of hairpin bends.
Pulizia meccanica della strada.
Mechanical cleaning of the road. This supplementary panel is placed under the no parking sign. Indicates that parking is prohibited only at certain times of the days indicated. It is placed in the road sections where street cleaning operations are carried out with sweeping cars.
Andamento della strada principale.
Course of the main road. These supplementary panels can be located under the sign. Intersections with right-of-way indicate the course of the main road, distinguishing the main road from the secondary roads.